republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Okay,
I'll go ahead and read in instructions for people online.
that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. For members of the public wishing to comment remotely at the Board of Commissioners' regular Monday business meeting during designated public comment times, business and consent agenda, public hearings, and general issues, the following options are available. For internet users, please click on the raise hand feature to signal that you would like to comment. The sound will be unmuted and the internet participant should announce her or his name. The participant will be called upon to speak at the appropriate time. Closed captions have been enabled. Members of the public can view the link to instructions in the chat. Please note that we will not be able to assist you should you experience technical difficulties. For call-in users, please dial *9 on your keypad to signal that you would like to comment. The last 4 digits of the call-in number will be announced, and call-in participants should announce their first and last name before speaking. Item 2A, resolution appointing Naomi Preciado to the Kitsap County Council for Human Rights for a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2028.
Okay. Do we have any discussion? Introduction?
Yeah, sure. First, I'd like to move to appoint Naomi Preciado, District 3 to the Kitsap County Council for Human Rights for a 3-year term ending December 31st, 2028.
Okay.
Second?
Any discussion?
Yeah, sir. I'm going to first share a little bit about the council. The Council for Human Rights advises the Kitsap County Board of Commissioners on issues related to discrimination, promotes the equitable treatment of all people, and reduces prejudice through prevention, education, resource referral, and advocacy. And just a little bit of background on Leomi. Leomi brings a broad range of professional experience and lived insight to the Council for Human Rights. Along with deep knowledge of issues affecting diverse communities, she is a nationally recognized advocate in housing and healthcare access and has been acknowledged for her work building community and fostering understanding, including recognition as one of Leadership Kitsap's 20 Under 40 and as a champion of justice. Leomi currently serves as co-chair-elect of the Washington LGBTQ Commission and as West Region Vice Chair of the Young Democrats of America LGBTQ Caucus. She is an up-and-coming cohort fellow with the Greater Seattle Business Association's Leadership Institute and an alumna of Emerge. So yeah, she's going to be a great addition to this council.
Oh, absolutely.
And is she online?
Is she here?
She might be online.
Yes, she is.
Oh, great. I interviewed her with Kimberly Williams, and we had a really great conversation. And so I look forward to her being part of this commission.
Great. Sounds like a great addition. All right. Thank you. Okay.
Do you want to vote, and then she can say some?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Welcome, Leomi. Glad you're here. Would you like to say anything?
Hi, yes. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Perfect. Thank you. I just can't see myself on your guys' screen, so I didn't know if I was on. I just want to say thank you so much to Commissioner Walters and, of course, Commissioner Wolfus, and, of course, you as well, Commissioner, for the opportunity to be able to sit on this board, to be able to help create a more welcoming Kitsap Peninsula for everyone here. It is my true, profound pleasure and honor to be able to be of service to my community, and I really am filled with gratitude towards all of you.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for speaking too. Glad you're aboard. Okay.
Item 2B, resolution appointing Ryan Wixon to the Kitsap County Planning Commission for a 4-year term ending December 31st, 2029.
Right, that's mine too.
Okay.
I move to appoint Ryan Wixon to the Planning Commission.
Okay.
A second?
Right, so I'll share a little bit, if you don't mind, about the the Planning Commission, and then a little bit about Ryan.
Absolutely.
So the Planning Commission assists county departments in carrying out their duties, including assistance in the preparation and execution of the comprehensive plan, land use ordinances, and official controls and amendments. The commission is required to conduct public hearings, make findings and conclusions from information gathered, and transmit its recommendations through the respective departments to the Kitsap County Board of Commissioners. And a little bit about Ryan. Ryan has a strong interest in local community development and is motivated by the opportunity to contribute to the advisory process for code and development standards. As a small business owner in Central Kitsap, he has firsthand knowledge of the challenges and needs of our local business community. In addition, he has been part of the permitting and construction of several commercial buildings and residences throughout the county. He is an active member of the Central Kitsap Community Council. In fact, he's my outgoing president. He was president last year. He appreciates, so he's like immediate past president, and he's continuing on the community council as well. And he appreciates receiving input from a wide range of residents and organizations. And he was actively engaged with the Comprehensive Plan Subcommittee throughout 2024. So he looks forward to sharing his expertise and insights while serving on the Planning Commission.
Hey,
Yeah.
great. All right, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All that oppose? All right, motion carries.
Great. No,
Welcome. Brian?
he's not here, but is he online?
No, he is not online.
Okay.
Item 2C, resolution of reappointing Marwan Cameron to the Kitsap Regional Library Board of Trustees for a new 5-year term ending December 31st, 2030.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
They have you presenting, but I'm going to do this
Oh.
one.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
I know, well, we have it on here, but yeah, so I want to do this one too. So a little bit about the Kitsap Regional Library Board, and I served on this board. It's like one of my favorite boards. And the library board serves the community as a center for lifelong learning and a steward of access to stories, information, and knowledge. The Board of Trustees, whose mission is to inspire community to dream more, learn more, do more, and be more, formed by RCW 27.12.190 and performs all functions and duties as authorized in RCW 27.12.210. And a little bit about Marwan. Marwan Cameron has a deep passion for improving the lives of his Kitsap neighbors and is always striving to find ways to increase access to education and resources for our community. Marwan is the founder and executive director of Gather Together, Grow Together, G2, a nonprofit providing food and transportation for people in need. And that feels such an important mission for our community. His mission and the mission of G2 is to ensure that every Kitsap resident has support and access to the resources they need to succeed. He continues to build on that legacy by serving Kitsap Regional Library in its pursuit to inspire the community to dream, learn, do, and be more. So I think he's great. He's addition to the library board, and he's been currently serving. So this is renewing his time on the board.
This is an easy one. Let's vote. All those in favor?
I need a motion first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh, I'm sorry. I
Mhm.
moved to appoint Marwan Cameron to the Kitsap Regional
Thank you.
Library Board.
Second.
Okay.
Then you're keeping us in order there.
Yes, thank you. All right,
Ourselves.
let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Honor. Would you like to speak, Marwan?
Good evening, Commissioners. How are you?
Good evening.
I stand before you this evening honored to continue to serve the library. As you know, the library turned 80 last year. 8 decades of service really says a lot to the testament of what the library is and to so many. Passing the levy last year was another big one. And under the leadership of the executive director, Jason Driver, and all of their leadership, the library just continues to move forward and innovate, whether it's their mobile services, their digital printing services that they have, and even serving as a warming and a cooling shelter, which is near and dear to my heart. The library is really something for everyone. And so it's an honor for me to continue to serve, and I will do the best that I can, and I just thank you.
Thank you so much.
Item 2D, resolution appointing Joseph Fullard to the remainder of a 4-year term ending December 31st, 2028, and Amy Lawrence and Jessica Hartzell to the remainder of 4-year terms ending December 31st, 2027, to the Kitsap County Noxious Weed Control Board.
I move to approve the resolution appointing Joseph Fulford, Amy Lawrence, and Jessica Hartzell to the Kitsap County Noxious Weed Control Board.
Second.
All right. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to speak a little bit about all three of these good people. The mission of the Noxious Weed Control Board is to educate residents, property owners, and managers to be responsible stewards of the land and resources of the county from the degrading impacts of invasive noxious weeds, and to provide quality, timely, and responsible service to the residents of Kitsap County in doing this in a cost-efficient manner. The Noxious Weed Control Board is it was established under state law, and every property owner in the county pays $2. It doesn't matter how big your property is, $2 flat fee, and it goes to controlling noxious weeds. So these three people were brought to us on the recommendation of the county's Noxious Weed Control Board, which is part of the statute. They did all of the interviewing and seeking applications and so forth, and they brought us three excellent candidates. So I'll read a little bit about all three. Joseph Fulford is a resident and landowner in Kitsap County for the past 40 years. He has experience in small farming and forestry, has a current farm in orchard and timber. He spent 30 years as a supervisor for several foundation drilling contractors and has 10 years serving as an executive board member of the Pile Drivers Local Union. With a skill set, he looks forward to helping the Noxious Weed Control Board better serve our community. Amy Lawrence is deeply interested in finding ways to efficiently manage noxious weeds throughout the county, especially through educational outreach. She has extensive knowledge of native plants and conservation, and has an educational background in environmental science and ecology. She has experience as a native plant advisor with Kitsap County's WSU Extension. She's also been an active volunteer on numerous community groups, including the Central Kitsap Community Council, Parks Advisory Board, and the Chico Salmon Park Stewardship Group. So also these guys are awesome. Jessica Hartzell has a comprehensive background in forestry, having both undergraduate and graduate degrees in the field. Her first ecological job during college had her removing invasive species in the mountains to Sound Greenway, and she's been hooked on natural sciences ever since. She owns a couple of acres and has been diligently working to remove noxious weeds from her property, and she's excited about helping other Kitsap residents do the same. So those are our three appointments upon the recommendation of the county's Noxious Weed Control Board.
Great.
And I think even like to be on the board, they have to get signatures for recommendation. They have to go out and get signatures as well. So
So it's a
they
double app.
recommend,
Double
yeah,
app.
they're also recommended by the community.
Okay, great. Well, good. Well, let's vote.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
Good.
Congratulations. Is Joseph or Amy or Jessica here by chance or online?
Amy is online.
Okay.
Hmm?
Hi, Amy.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can, yes.
Okay, hi. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I've worked with the Noxious Weed Board at Parks for a long time, and I'm really looking forward to learning more about how the board operates, and also looking to connecting the work of the board with my students at Olympic College. So thank you very much.
Great, great. Well, welcome.
Thank
We're
you.
honored to have you.
Thank you.
Item 2E, resolution reappointing Renee Beaker to the Area Agency on Aging Advisory Council for a new 3-year term ending December 31st, 2028.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
That would be me too.
All right.
I move to reappoint Renee Beaker, District 3 to the Area Agency on Aging Advisory Council.
Second?
Okay, any discussion?
Sure, a little bit about the council. The council advises the area agency on aging, it's hard to say for some reason, in the development and implementation of the area plan for aging services funded through Kitsap County. It conducts public meetings, represents the interests of older persons, and reviews and comments on all community policies, programs, and actions which affect older persons. And a little bit about Renee.
Okay.
Renee has served as a valued member of the Area Agency on Aging Advisory Council since 2022, with more than 40 years of professional nursing experience. And as an aging disabled adult herself, Renee holds a special interest in helping our underserved aging and disabled community members achieve a sustainable level of living. She regularly contributes her knowledge and expertise to volunteering and community outreach. Her strong belief that community is only as strong as its members resonates through all of her service. And I'd also like to comment that Renee and I worked with our Parks Department, and for my October Commissioners Corner, we we had a great discussion, so you can check that out. But we also we took a little yonder down the new accessible trail in Elahi Preserve. And so she was instrumental in the development of that accessible trail as well. So she's a great addition. I'm really proud to have her continue her service.
Great. Oh, absolutely. All right. Let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The motion carries. Welcome, Renee. Is she online? Is she?
No, she's not.
Okay. Okay.
Great addition.
Yeah. Well, welcome. All right.
Item 3A, affirm resolution 001-2026, proclaiming January 19th, 2026 as Martin Luther King Jr. Day in Kitsap County.
All right. Thank you, Kimberly, for being here. Champion right there.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Kimberly Williams, the DEI Manager, here to present the resolution honoring Martin Luther King Jr. Day here in Kitsap County. This resolution is so special to me because my mom was there at the March on Washington listening to Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King when she was a little girl. So this is really special to me. Whereas the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. rose to fame during the Civil Rights Movement beginning in 1955 until 1968 when he was assassinated, the power of Dr. King was that he could gather people of all racial and religious backgrounds to resist all forms of legalized discrimination against African Americans using civil disobedience and peaceful, nonviolent resistance. His writings moved and inspired all, and to hear his speeches was to experience a piece of heaven. And whereas on November 2nd, 1983, the King Holiday Bill was signed into law, designating the third Monday in January as a federal holiday to mark the birthday of the Reverend Dr. King. And whereas, in recognition of the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, we celebrate and honor his nonviolent activism and leadership of the civil rights movement, protesting racial discrimination, and remember his teachings that continue to guide and inspire us. And whereas the King Holiday and Service Act, enacted in 1994, designated the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday as a national day of volunteer service to encourage Americans to participate in community service projects that bring people of all backgrounds and races together for the betterment of all. And whereas the Kitsap County Board of Commissioners joins people and communities across the country in commemorating the contributions and teachings of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Kitsap County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim Monday, January 19th, 2026, as Martin Luther King Jr. Day in Kitsap County. Thank you, Commissioners.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Kimberly. Humanity is much better for it too. Thank you.
I would agree.
Okay. Any discussion?
I'll make a
Oh,
motion.
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to affirm resolution 001-2026.
Second?
Okay. Any discussion?
I'll just point out, this was our first resolution of the year, 001. So, yay.
Good. Yeah. All right.
And then, and we'll be participating in the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration at the fairgrounds on Martin Luther King Day. And let's see, I want to make sure I have it here. And that's at 10 a.m. at the Kitsap Fairgrounds President's Hall. And all are invited to attend with us.
Absolutely.
I'll be there. See you there.
You have something else?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
All right. Well, let's vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
All right.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Commissioners.
All right.
Item number 4, administrators' comments.
Chair Root and the members of the board, I just wanted to thank you all for all your hard work the last couple of days on a bunch of intergovernmental items and also some budget items. I was noticing and reviewing the agenda. This is the extension of the hiring freeze is tonight. And I know you may not get a lot of thank yous for that, but on behalf of your general fund, thank you for talking a lot about budget, preparing to think about budget. And then I appreciate that you've taken that action in order to restrain the general fund spending. So anyway. Not many thank yous, but I wanted to say it.
Thank you very much, Tori. Appreciate that. Okay.
This is an opportunity for the public to address the board on regular business agenda, including consent agenda.
And I had nobody signed up for the consent agenda. Anybody late?
I'll wait a second and see if
Okay.
anyone raises their hand. And there is none. So moving on, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And it carries. Thank you.
Item 10G, contract with Neely Construction Company for the Silverdale Recycling and Garbage Facility redevelopment.
Okay. Welcome.
Good evening, Commissioners. So while she's getting set up, I thought I'd just introduce what we're in front of you tonight for. My name is Kevin Bevelheimer. I'm the Solid Waste Senior Program Manager, and I'll let my colleague introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Alexis McKinnon. I'm the Capital Projects and Operations Manager.
Hi, let's.
So we're in front of you tonight to discuss the contract number KC 460-25. It's the Silverdale Recycle and Garbage Facility redevelopment. It's awarded to Neely Construction Company for the redevelopment and refurbishment of the facility. The bid was $14,204,599.28.
Wow.
You need to be able to put the PowerPoint on the screen. Like requests.
Danish. Yeah, can you give her a hand?
So the total project cost for this will be $18.5 million, and that includes design and construction management.
There it is. Okay.
Okay, so this waste facility was opened in the early 80s and has operated continuously without much updating or heavy maintenance. This is the busiest of the 3 county-owned recycle and garbage facility and has grown significantly over the past several decades and is projected to continue to grow in both customers using the facilities and amounts of material handled. Some areas in real need of replacement or repair include the existing attendance building, the garbage refuse sheds, recycling area, and the limited household hazardous waste collection areas. So the Silverdale Recycling Garbage Facility is in the county's central region on Dickey Road, Northwest. This facility accepts residential garbage, commingled recycling and scrap metal, and a limited household hazardous waste, batteries, motor oil, antifreeze. It is immediately adjacent to the Kitsap Humane Society and west of the Silverdale Elementary School. Most of the upgrades and much of the site work will take place on the east side of the current entrance roadway as listed there on the bottom of the screen. Next slide. So the recycling area is currently a gravel lot with stairs to access the commodity containers. This area currently exists under 2 transmission easements and will be relocated to the east side of the facility adjacent to the new attendance booth. There are currently 3 refuse sheds, each housing 2 50 cubic yard containers or dumpsters. With this project, a 4th refuse shed will be constructed and the 3 originals will be recladded with metal siding and translucent panels on the upper sections. During this task, corrosion and other deterioration on the structural steel will be addressed. So the facets of this project are increased garbage collection capacity by 33%, making the limited household hazardous waste into one building, centralizing, and also securing potentially targeted items. A larger attendance booth is greatly needed and will be constructed and the current one demolished. The new booth will better provide for staff and county equipment needs. This will provide separate areas for equipment, breaks, restrooms, and storage, which as you can see, it's almost in one room there. The stormwater system will also be upgraded to function more efficiently and drain to one of 5 stormwater retention ponds that would be part of the projects. Drains in each refuse shed will be installed and plumbed to a sanitary sewer line on Dickey Road in front of the Silverdale Elementary School to better manage the water from the garbage refuse containers. Next slide. So overall site layout and design. This far larger entrance roadway, as you see on the left there, the S curves, will allow vehicles to queue without impact on Dickey Road. Not shown here are frontage improvements to Dickey Road, which include tying a sidewalk path to the lower sidewalk system. The service and haul road to access the commodity containers will be separate from the publicly trafficked roadways. This will reduce the time on site for the contractor and greatly improve safety by not mingling personal vehicles with the large trucks. The recycled containers will also be installed below grade, allowing customers to use them without climbing stairs. Fiber optic cable will be installed, allowing the function of credit card terminals and better access communications and county information. The most major obstacle that we've encountered on this project was on the property are 2 50-foot wide transmission easements. Both run directly over the recycle area and much of the west portion of the property. Although no permanent structures were allowed to be built on either of these easements, through negotiation with both Bonneville Power and Puget Sound Energy, a paved entrance roadway was approved, as well as the installation of 2 of the stormwater retention ponds. Next slide. So, construction phase timeline. During the most important part, phase 1, this will be 184 days and will extend probably through the end of September. Construction phase 2, this is the section that will be impacting the garbage operations, and will go for 160 days. A total of 384 days or approximately 13 months. Next slide. So design is complete. Construction management contracts are already in place with parametrics, and they will provide daily construction management oversight. And they are the same firm that completed the design. So the big takeaway was this construction bid came in a little over $4 million under the most recent engineer's estimate. So some wiggle room should things arise. So next slide. And so And this is, Alexis McKinnon will be, overseeing the project for the county side. And there's her contact information. Next slide. Oh, that's it. Do you have any questions for us?
Okay, yeah. Any questions?
No questions, just comments. I know this has been a long time in planning and I'm really excited for this project. It's going to make it so much safer for the residents on the road as well as going to the recycling center. And then just the improvements to be able to, to not climb those stairs is a huge, huge improvement. It's going to make it safer and more convenient for our residents, as well as the frontage improvements on the way to the Silverdale Elementary School. I'm really excited to have a continuation of the sidewalk there. So it's good project.
I guess I would classify this, Kevin, and as a like generational capital facility improvement. This is taking it from sort of a roughshod facility to something that's going to carry us through for 20 or 30 years, right?
Oh, I expect, and then some.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of homes being built in the vicinity, so it's going to be greatly helped the new residents there as well. So no, it's a really great project.
Yeah, that 30%, 33% increase of capacity. And I even wrote down supporting the growth that's
Yeah.
in the area and the frontage. I wrote that down too. So it's needed, a good transition for the next 30 years. So I think that's great. So.
Well, it also makes it easy, so much more convenient because I know residents right now, a lot of times they'll drive all the way out to the transfer station instead of going to Silverdale. And so then this will make it more convenient. They'll be able to go to Silverdale and not have to drive all the way out to Port Orchard too. So maybe I'll take some garbage off the road as people go around the curve.
It is an investment into our future, into our community. So thank you for your presentation.
Do you need a motion?
Please.
Yeah, I'm happy to make that.
Okay.
I move to approve the contract with Neely Construction Company, KC-460-25 for the Silverdale Recycling and Garbage Facility redevelopment.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. Looking forward to the completion of this. And let's keep it under the 4 million that we're saving on the bid. So,
Copy that.
all right, guys. Thanks for all your work on this.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Public hearing A, public hearing to consider a resolution providing for the annual review and potential amendments to the Kitsap County Comprehensive Plan, Land Use Map, Zoning Map, and associated development regulations. Final 2026 long range docket. Oh, excuse me, Commissioner, we have staff here to present first.
How
Yes.
could you miss me? Some of my controls are covered, so I don't know if I can make it any bigger, but I think this will work. Okay. We're here tonight to talk about and hold a public hearing on the largest proposed analysis of rural Kitsap County ever to be accomplished in its history, as well as a major update to the Silverdale Sudbury Plan and an amendment to the Illahee Community Plan. And we'll begin this months-long effort with approving a docket to do so. My name is Scott Diener. I'm the manager of planning for Department of Community Development for Kitsap County. And sitting with me virtually in the audience is Heather Cleveland, who is a senior planner for community planning and is also the project lead for the rural lands analysis. So if you ask me difficult questions when it comes time to that, I will turn it over to her. The docket is a formal mechanism by which a GMA jurisdiction, a Growth Management Act jurisdiction, makes changes to its comprehensive plan. And those changes can occur no more than one time in any 12-month period. And all changes must be planned for, considered together, and adopted in one comprehensive omnibus ordinance, which we'll see at the end of this calendar year. Much of the work plan for the docket will likely take most of 2 years, meaning we will adopt a similar docket in 2027, or I should say for 2027. And over the next 2 years, we will recommend mostly rural policy changes or additions to the comp plan as we move through accomplishing rural tasks and elements. So we will see lighter policy evaluation in 2026 and heavier policy advisement and adoption in 2027. Our focus tonight is on the 2026 docket, but DCD recognizes that there is a lot that we don't know. Other elements of the docket, the Silverdale Sub-Area Plan and an amendment to the LE Community Plan will be done this calendar year. Getting into the issues a little bit more, I'll discuss all that we're proposing for the rural lands analysis in 2026. I will follow with a presentation on Silverdale Sub-Area Planning and then the Anti-LE proposed community plan. The rural element of the docket, the rural lands analysis, or what I'll call RLA, is largely a response to the 2024 year of the rural. And when we began to explore all that may be needed for rural Kitsap, but also to inform on urban practices. It quickly became apparent that a comprehensive approach was needed, and we recognized that we needed a lot of effort to understand more about rural Kitsap. Again, not having done this at all since perhaps GMA was adopted nearly 35 years ago. So many of the issues we will look at will help to inform on rural buildable lands and land capacity, much like what is comprehensively evaluated for our urban areas. We can expect similar metrics, but with a rural spin. The analysis is a heavy lift with a lot of data analytics, looking back and then looking forward and forecasting what we're comfortable with. Right now, countywide, there are more questions than answers. The list of bullets on this slide is a beginning list in which we did not or could not fit in the year of the rural, and which will need its own comprehensive plan appendix to document the review and evaluation framework. Business Analyst is a new software package that makes a generational leap in data analytics, such as for population, demographics, and economic forecasting. We recently have been licensed and will start in on its power at the end of this month. And I can tell you that our GIS analyst data specialist is very excited to get this going because it's apparently pretty impressive and will free her up to do a lot of other work that we were asking her to do, and of which there's only one of her. So she's very excited. The review of rural development includes looking at a 20+ year projection by zone, by activity, and more. And this, along with business analysis or analyst, will show with fair precision where we are with our urban and rural development targets. Land capacity and compatibility will be evaluated for housing, especially when we consider environmentally constrained lots, which we hope to be able to capture quantitatively. And what does an increase in rural density look like in some of these areas? We will be able to model growth in areas that we want to, such as, for example, around UGAs. You would expect that there would be heavier growth right around those perimeters than as you go further out. Land capacity, sorry, I just spoke to that. Working and resource lands will be a key theme to the update, and we hope to accomplish much of our work in 2026 with this. This includes working lands and overlays for agricultural and potentially for working forests as well. We will look at other tools to assist, including for farmland preservation and economic viability and rural economies. There's much excitement about an Ag Advisory Council, which we're just starting to get street ready. Next, I'll talk about LAMERDs. LAMERDs mean limited areas of more intensive rural development, and they're basically just that. You see a little bit more commercial activity around a little more dense housing activity than you would ordinarily see in much of the rest of rural Kitsap. So we have several kinds of LAMERDs, but this is really about residential LAMERDs. There has been an allowance by the state to increase density in LAMERDs. For example, fourplexes could now be allowed in LAMERDs if the county so desired, especially where infrastructure might support that. This would require a lot of community discussion and consensus building. And we have a high amount of legal non-conforming lots of record. And what's our current policy advisement on that, or what should it be? Throughout Kitsap, there are legacy lots that we also call historical lots. And those can be as little as 4,000 square feet, what I'll call the micro rural legacy lots. DCD will be able to provide exacting maps as well as heat maps on where those occur. And we have a good idea of where they occur, Indianola and near Manchester, for example. But the mapping of those will be very helpful for policy and decision-making, especially when we start to model it with growth and what some of those smaller rural lots could look like. Our urban and rural boundaries should have a suitable transition area around them. Should the character of those, let me back up. What should the character of that transition land look like between urban and rural areas, essentially the lands that border our urban UGA boundaries? And of course, that becomes important when there's consideration for a UGA expansion and which area of that boundary do you want to pop out more. Wildlife corridors and easements will include a major effort to begin to map these and to create defensible and incentive-based practices and policies. Permit exempt wells and small water systems will also be a part of this planning effort. This is a lift that may go into 2027 and beyond with policy direction, and is considered a major work element. This is a program that our tribal governments are very passionate about getting started and continuing on with. DCD will be a lesser and occasionally more of a supportive role with this program, but we will support all the efforts and the mapping and the data analytics that can be done or which are already underway. So those are the key elements that have been identified so far, but again, we're quite sure there will be new things that we uncover as we move into rural lands analysis for 2026. We will have a project website like we do for all of our planning programs. But also a GIS hub for our data-driven maps that we keep, similar to what we did with Year of the Rural. For example, we'll show baselines of certain planning elements, where we've been, where we are, and where we will be for better analysis and real-time visualization of proposals. 2026 will include a lot of policy discussion and direction coming from discussions with communities, the tribes, the planning commission, stakeholders, and ultimately the Board of County Commissioners. The rural lands analysis will likely result in some policies again in 2026, but largely in 2027, with heavy advisement on what a future rural Kitsap should look like. And to close this page out, DCD recently was advised that is receiving a salmon recovery through local planning grant. We can thank Kirby and her team and Heather for this effort. They were instrumental in procuring this grant. It is $400,000 and will study intersections between land use planning and salmon recovery. It will take 18 months and we'll be able to hire a term limited staff person for that. It will help with GIS and data to build frameworks of recovery models and to advise on land use planning. And some of those models might be different based on where you are in rural Kitsap. Excuse me, the Silverdale, the Silverdale Regional Growth Center Subarea Plan got underway during the 2024 comprehensive plan, during the comprehensive plan update with minor changes and is expected to conclude mid-year this year. When completed, it will update the comp plan and become an appendix with our other subarea plans. The evolution of the Silverdale Regional Center is a critical aspect of the county and regional growth strategy and supports the mission, vision, and values of Kitsap County. The plan sits currently at 80% draft with the first rollout of the plan before the Planning Commission soon on January 20th. The plan will bring more detail related to the development of our regional growth center, public investment opportunities, transportation improvements and multimodal connectivity, design standards, and development code. The additional elements that will be somewhat new to Silverdale will include consolidating the existing 9 design districts from, we'd like to see 3, and some of them are so similar that you could easily mesh them together. And that will make use of those design districts easier and more predictable for development. Preparing redevelopment code for certain smaller commercial projects or parcels, and identifying community spaces and project sites for activities like a community center or a senior center, a sheriff's precinct, parks, pocket parks, and trailways. We will be contemplating the multifamily tax exemption program and developing a wayfinding program. And then we will continue to capitalize on the substantive outreach we've had for the Silverdale Sudbury Plan. There's been a lot of great participation by a lot of people very interested in the future of Silverdale. And I'd like to thank them for that and in advance for the further work they have in front of them. This 80% draft plan includes up-to-date visioning and design concepts from both the public and stakeholder input and will help guide the development of the Silverdale Regional Center into an active and 24/7 vibrant community. And finally, for tonight's discussion on the docket is the Enitai Ilahi. It says neighborhood plan. It's really supposed to say community plan. And this is about the Enitai community to the south and southwest of the current Ilahi plan area, wanting to be included in the overall plan. Full scope is yet to be developed, but what is known as the community of Enitai wants to be added to the boundaries of the current Ilahi community plan and would like consideration of a view protection overlay. Again, however, the initial scope remains to be determined. That's the conclusion of my presentation. We began with an intro to the docket process and then reviewed the docket and are ready with the board's blessing for a public hearing. Are there any questions for me?
Scott, thank you. I was following your PowerPoint while looking at the resolution that lists the docket. And there were a couple of things. One is the docket itself, the resolution includes a forestry stakeholder group. And I didn't see that in your description.
I briefly touched on it as I think in the rural lands analysis. Let me get there. I think I mentioned when we were talking about working in resource lands that there could include potentially working forest group.
Because we talked about that a little bit when
Yeah.
we were doing the comp plan and the amount of work it is to have a stakeholder group.
Yeah.
I just wondered how it popped up, or is that something you have we didn't have the staffing to do the ag lands and decided that, and fortunately Wazoo and the conservation district stepped up and said they would do it.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering workload and what's the end result.
So I'd like to bring Heather on board, but I can suggest that we were looking at a very limited opportunity with timberland owners who are concerned about their future economies on their lands. Some that have timber product that's not viable for market, and some of those lands that are constrained by environmental features. But we didn't expect a protracted discussion or process with those timberland owners. And so it was more like a working group, an ad hoc advisory work group than a formal.
Yeah, I guess I'd like to talk a little bit more about that prior to finalizing this, about like what's
Okay.
the goal? What do you think the outcome will be? Because if the outcome is we don't have timberlands, it's all needs to be zoned residential. That's
That's a problem.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We hadn't contemplated that would be the outcome of any discussion with the timberland owners. But yet they've reached out to us to say that they can't sustain the land in the manner that was contemplated when it was zoned such a long time ago in the 90s. So what could they do? Could they be allowed some other uses that currently aren't allowed? So could they be allowed mill sites, for example, on site as an example? So obviously not a big mill site, but something that they could process their product to and get it to market off that same parcel.
I just think that's a really, really big discussion. So I want to make sure that that's with all the stuff that's on here, that's a priority for the board to have you working on next year.
And perhaps with clarification, it's a 2-year effort.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've asked for assistance. We do feel staff feels obligated to try and provide some discussion.
Okay. And then my second question was you had on the PowerPoint, but not in the docket, the urban rural fringe conversation. I don't know where that is in the actual resolution. What is that covered
So,
under?
where I was talking about the transition areas.
Yeah, I didn't see transition areas in here.
Yeah,
I'm not like excited about that. Just, but I don't see it in here.
well, I think when I envision what an outcome of that could look like, it would be a policy that says if you were or when you are considering expanding your UGA boundary, these are the properties you should look at first. And as an example, you would bleed into the rural residential lands that are the densest around your UGA already. And so you might encapsulate those into your UGA boundary. Again, if there comes a time when you need to expand your UGA. This is not suggesting that that time is now or even near. But that when the time does come, here's what we look at to help advise us on where we should expand UGAs. And that may not have been captured very well in the docket. That might have been something that we kind of thought about and maybe wanted to highlight it a little bit more. I apologize if that was not in the docket per se. We do expect a lot of issues that are not in the docket to kind of present themselves. But if you want to have more discussion about that particular issue, I'm willing to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
if
with you. I kind of like it not being in the docket.
Yeah, I just don't like we're sprawled enough. I don't know that we need to like what you're describing, it would be criteria for expanding an urban growth area, which we're not supposed to do for another 10 years, right?
Right.
So does that need to be, do we need to look at the criteria for how to do it now?
No, we don't. And so message is loud and clear.
Yeah.
It can be something that could be contemplated in 2032.
Right. Okay, thank you. Those were
Yeah.
just a couple things that popped up when the
We need more discussion on this. We need to,
I think we have a public hearing.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because I think there's more in the resolution than necessarily, like even like I know, like the evaluation of groundwater and watershed planning initiatives, including water quantity and quality, aquifer recharging. I know that's really important to the tribes. So I think there's a few more things that are more detailed that we have.
And that's going to be a pretty big and long.
That's a
lift.
big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the process, my question to you, Scott, before the chair opens public hearing is the process is we'll have a public hearing and then this will come back to us like in a work study that we can massage it, or what's the process?
Well, the process was at the previous work study was really to help provide that guidance. And we were hoping that you would in fact adopt the docket tonight. But at your discretion, of course, we can come back to you and massage this a little bit more. I think it's easy enough to say that the discussion about urban rural boundaries and transition areas is off the table. That's pretty easy.
I tell you what, let's do this. Let's open up the public hearing.
Sure.
Let's hear from our speakers and then we'll come back and either move on, we'll vote on it, or we'll postpone it.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. All right, this time we're going to open the public hearing. Public hearing is now open. I have one signed up. Kathy, is it Lustig? Hi,
Hi,
welcome.
thank you. Yeah,
Okay,
so my name's Kathy Lustig. I live in East Bremerton in the area of Enetai. I'm the president of Save Enetai. I am the one that put in the proposal in December of 24 to amend the Illahee Community Plan. I'll talk a little bit about some stuff in the next part where I can do general, but I want to talk a little bit about the plan, why it came about. And for 2 years, I've been requesting that you take portions of Enetai out of the UGA because they are inappropriately in the UGA. Why they were ever put in is beyond me. Back in 1998, when the county per GMA requirements did their first comp plan that they got approved, they did this blanket urban low zoning everywhere, and they made their boundaries for the UGAs. I don't know what they were thinking back then, but that was in 1998. In 1992, a portion of Ennetai, the old Cheney estate, was put in open space zoning. So why that was not contemplated when it was all put to urban low zoning, I don't know. So back in 90, then 10 years later, in 2008, the Illahee Community Plan, in a response to that urban low zoning, they felt that they did not want to have high-rise condos down in Illahee, that it was not appropriate. There's too many geological hazards, lots of landslides. And so they brought the Illahee plan down to 30th. In the Illahee Community Plan, there is contemplation of the Cheney Estate. It's considered open space. It's a wildlife patch. It's a high priority species area by Fish and Wildlife. It was contemplated at that point in the Illahee Community Plan. This is why we're seeking to extend the boundaries so we can downzone our area the same way that Illahee did. And now, in 2016, that open space was allowed to be split up in their zoning. That should never have happened. It basically was an illegal spot zone. I won't go into all that. It's on our website. But now, a year ago, when I put in the proposal, we wanted to downzone. We are looking at wanting to zone our area with the way it should be. And you all know this. And then now I'm told that our rezoning is being pulled back, that we can't do that now. That was our whole reason to put in this proposal. So and I've asked the director, DCD, who's in charge of this? Who's making these decisions? This is why our community wants to do this. So I just want to make sure that you all know that's going on. No communication has been made to our community about this.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Kathy. Okay, I only had Kathy signed up. Anybody else signed up? Oh,
I also have one person online raising their hand.
okay.
Good evening, Commissioners. Good to
Good
see you
evening.
again. Happy New Year. And it makes it hard when we get in here as we can. There's no place to sign up in essence back there. The sign up sheets have been removed. So they used to keep them up or keep one up and then try to look at them as we go through. The reason I rise to speak to this in particularly is number one, I haven't seen the resolution and I
Excuse me, Mark.
apologize.
Could you introduce yourself? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, that's
Thank you.
Yeah.
My name is Marcus Carter. I am president of Puget Sound Patriots as well as the executive officer of Kitsap Rifle and Revolver Club. At this point, I'm also speaking as a resident here of South County and again, appreciative of a lot of what our county does. What I specifically want to get to, though, is that without being able to see the resolution and all the lines involved here currently, I would like to know, or I would like to see a directive given to DCD about anything that they propose to change. They should have to demonstrate how it protects and maintains individual rights, which is the fundamental of our government in Washington State and what you are supposed to be doing as a matter of your oath and the position that you have. As it stands now, I hear a lot of talk about tribal governments and how they're happy. A lot of different models, and I heard about how DCD is going to decide, and it could be just semantics. So again, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. You all been given something you're told to do, but as a citizen of this county, I don't want DCD deciding what my county is going to look like. That's up to us. That's up to the individuals of this county. And I want you to place a directive in the resolution directing them to demonstrate any proposed change of ordinance, how it first and foremost takes care of your number one obligation, which is to protect and maintain individual rights. That's the state of Washington's Constitution, Article 1, Section 1, and the reason that you all are sitting there and the reason I'm here tonight is to help protect individual rights. So I'd appreciate your consideration that way. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Carter. This is the open hearing.
Yeah, okay.
Is that what it's for?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Anthony Agello. Thank you, commissioners, for listening to me. I just want to back up what Marcus said. That was beautiful. I couldn't have said it better myself. A lot of the residents throughout Kitsap County, the majority, overwhelming majority, I'm sure feel just like Marcus, myself included. I don't know anyone who doesn't feel that way. So we would like the commissioners, all of you, to please listen to the residents of Kitsap County. Do not let developers dictate to you what happens here. You all are accountable as leaders, and I'm not anti-development by any stretch. I had my own development company before, so I'm all for it, but responsible development. It came up, I went to the planning meeting, and it was supposed to address, or someone from DCD addressed the BLA, the boundary line adjustments that are going to come into play. And a couple of things came out of that. One, that there's no fee, or they get refunded a fee, anyone who puts in for this, developers, even if they put in multiple BLA applications. That's not, even in Washington State, standard practice. There should be a fee that's not refundable. If they do that, that makes them do their due diligence to make sure they're doing it right, and it doesn't get overlooked by people reviewing it. It's already a complex enough review process. And also with that, make sure that the residents around the BLA, the proposed BLAs, know what's going on. We heard that the quote unquote smaller BLAs, the residents don't need to know what's happening. That's crazy. The neighbors, whoever's going to be affected by boundary line adjustments, those neighbors should know there should be a hearing of what's going to happen. So anyway, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Can you spell your first name again, first and last name?
Yes, I'm sorry, Anthony, Anthony,
Okay.
and last name Agello, Augello, Port Orchard.
Great.
Thanks.
Anthony. Appreciate that. Okay. Anybody else?
There's someone online if we're,
You said
Then-
one person online?
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
and Beverly Parsons, I'll allow you to speak.
Hi, Beverly.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm Beverly Parsons from Hansville. I had several points that I wanted to make. First of all, I appreciate that amendments can be made to this docket as it moves forward. I expect that approval of certain parks plans needs to be added for the 2027 docket with startup work in 26. Second, I'm very pleased that there is this rural lands analysis. I think this is extremely important. I'm glad to hear about the attention to water issues and wildlife corridors, as well as the GIS hub. I would like to suggest, in addition to one of the items Scott mentioned, he identified the urban-rural boundary as one of the topics. To that boundary issue, I would like to add the boundary issue with parks and open space, especially our heritage parks. These parks are the only public uninterrupted area of habitat large enough to be natural areas, biodiverse habitats that support species from tiny amphibians to bears and cougars. And as I've heard someone say recently, the heritage parks are nature's last stand in Kitsap. Along with that, there's a tendency for people to think only in terms of where else can we build, as if the main purpose of rural lands is as vacant land to be developed. I hope that this analysis will highlight how important undeveloped rural land is to the health and well-being of us all, as well as the fact that much of the rural areas is the habitat for our wildlife. They are a key to the biodiversity that is essential for our well-being. We are an integrated, complex system that needs to be recognized and appreciated. So I'm very supportive of this rural land analysis and look forward to seeing what we can all learn from this. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Beverly. Is that it?
I'll give it 1 second.
Okay.
And no one else is raising their hand.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing. All right. We are now closed. And this is an opportunity for the public to
Oh,
address.
Excuse me, Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
You'll need to decide what you would like to do, either vote tonight or continue this matter for deliberations decision only for more discussion with staff.
I have three things I wanted to check in with Scott on in terms of maybe amendments to the underlying resolution
Good.
related to the questions that I asked.
Okay. Do you want to continue it?
So continue it,
Okay.
and then maybe we can bring that shouldn't be very long, but bring it to the board at a work session, and then we can approve it at the next
Okay.
meeting.
That sounds
Okay.
good.
Agree?
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Just to make sure we get it right.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
I'll
Thank
send
Scott.
you a memo.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
being here.
Commissioners, do you want to decide tonight if you want to continue it to Wednesday, or we have I talked to our county administrator, we have time Wednesday, or do you want to not set that date right now and then we'll just re-advertise and come back to it?
Try for Wednesday? I think we'll try for Wednesday.
Okay,
Yep.
And Scott, I just want to say, I really appreciate all the work that's being done with the Silverdale Savaria plan. I sat with you for a long time, you and Jim Rogers, and there really has been really great community input and so many stakeholders and so much interest. And I think we're going to have a really great product. So thank you for all your work. I'm looking forward to continuing it and to getting it past the finish line this year.
Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you for your direction as well. I look forward to seeing how Silverdale starts to bend to a new urban area.
Yeah,
and
it's
what we're
really,
looking
it's
for.
exciting as we grow up.
Yeah, yeah. And we were able to get spell check worked through in the final draft, so
Very good.
that was good.
Okay. All right. Do we have
Okay,
a
so-
motion?
if there was any confusion, this matter will be continued to your work study, which is on January 14th at 11 a.m.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
This is an opportunity for the public to address the board on general interests.
Okay. Looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4 people signed up. Looks like number 1, Mr. Van Cleve.
Happy New Year, Commissioners.
Happy New Year.
I have a lot of friends who are members of the Kitsap Rifle and Revolver Club. I'm not a member, but I'm a huge fan of property rights and Second Amendment rights. And I've been digging into this. And the first thing that really made me raise not 2 eyebrows, but the hair on my head, not much there. This is 189 pages of billable legal hours that our prosecuting attorney's office has spent in handling a civil litigation matter with the Kitsap Rifle and Revolver Club. First thing that came to mind is looking at all the activity we have on the streets these days, the crime, what have you, the funding in the sheriff's department. Why are we spending money for a civil litigation in the prosecuting attorney's office? Don't we have other issues we should be focusing their energies on? Criminal matters? So the question came up, what is the criminal matter that it would involve a private piece of property? I also come to discover there's 88 separate files. Once I've realized how to use the public records request system and where to find the data, I realized we got some issues. And I'm continuing to dig. I've even gone as far as to file a complaint with the US DOJ under 5th and 14th Amendment property right violations. And I want them to look into this. Now, I know all three of you weren't involved early on with this entire process, but all three of you are seated commissioners. And I feel you guys should move this to a high priority to figure out, get a hold of the powers to be at the Kitsap Rifle and Revolver Club. Anybody who still has any kind of lineage or memory of what's gone on here, and get these people open. Get them back in business. They're good people. They mind their business. If you were to do a demographic survey, they're all taxpayers and participating members in this county. So if you would, please take a look at that, because this concerns me when I look around on the streets.
Thank you, Mr. Van Cleef. Okay, Kathy, I have you signed up. Yeah, okay, yep. Want to make sure you're.
Thank you. So I'm Kathy Lustig. I'm with Save Enitai. I'm here to talk about open space, current use agreements in this county. I've asked for the assessor to give me a list of all the open space properties in the county, and they cannot provide it to me. They put me to a database to search on my own that is pretty much impossible for me to search. Because I'd like to know what developers are taking advantage of the current use open space tax agreements. I'm talking about the Cheney property that was put into open space in 1994. It was granted by the county legislative authority, which is the county commissioners. The application that was put in was for open space. The category of open space this land will qualify for: open space zoning, conserve and enhance natural and scenic resources, protect streams and water supply, promote conservation of soils, wetlands, beaches, and tidal marshes, and preserve historic sites. These were all the boxes checked off by Mr. Cheney to get greatly reduced taxes, property taxes, on his property. Open space means any land, the preservation of which is a present use, would conserve and enhance natural and scenic resources, protect streams and water supply, promote conservation, soils, wetlands, beaches, etc. That's how this was approved. And this has been in place since 1994. I'm asking you to do your job. I put up a sign when they went onto that property to do geotechnical evaluation that says property is environmentally sensitive, hunting, littering, excessive noise, cutting of vegetation, or any action which may endanger the animal or plant life on this property is strictly prohibited. The county knows this has been violated. This property needs to be taken out of open space, and 7 years back taxes plus penalties should be applied to this developer. They should not be allowed to be taking advantage of our community and this
Okay,
county.
Kathy. Okay, thank you very much, Kathy. Okay, Ed Korch? Did I say that correctly? Korch?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Ed Korsh from Port Orchard, Washington. I've been living here for about 37 years now. I was raised Catholic, and I've been feeling guilty because I haven't been here to speak to you guys for 7 or 8 years. The first time I came was probably about 2008, when there was first discussion about the Rifle Club and closing down Kitsap Rifle and Revolver Club. But, I've been driving to and from Jefferson County Sportsmen's Association 3 or 4 times a month to participate in matches there that I used to participate in at Kitsap Rifle and Revolver Club. It's a 1-hour trip, but I leave about 2 hours early because of the bridge. And several times it's been closed and I've had to wait, and I'll get there just right at 10 o'clock. So doing it at Kitsap Rifle and Revolver Club was very convenient. And for 3 decades I've been shooting out there, and I've really been missing it. So as I mentioned, the range ordinance, well, I mentioned that I've been shooting at Kitsap Rifle and Revolver Club, but the range ordinance has restricted our shooting. And the county hasn't processed the rifle club's application despite us having a stellar safety record. And going back to the 2008, 2009 timeframe, the commissioners actually wrote up a decree, and they agreed that they were going to sell us the property because it was an asset to the community, and they wanted to maintain it as an asset to the community for a safe place to go shooting and to have rules and regulations enforced by range officers on a daily basis. So, I stopped coming because I felt like it wasn't doing any good. I'm not really big into public speaking, but the fact is, if I don't come up, who's going to come up and speak? Too many people speak out against things, whether that be, wow, it's been 3 minutes already. Anyway, this year, Marwin had mentioned its 80-year anniversary for the library. This year's our 100th anniversary. And I'd like to have something done to change the ordinance to recognize our grandfathered status, get us into partial shooting so that we can raise money to incorporate improvements we discussed about before.
Great. Thank you, Ed.
Thanks for
Thank you for that. Okay, Mr. Robert Larson.
Hello. Let's see, commissioners, can I deliver 3? Yeah, thanks, Chad.
Well, thank you. Happy New Year.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. My name is Robert Larson, resident of unincorporated King County, or Kitsap County. I've been battling Public Works on a side sewer line that to a piece of property that was not connected. Okay, so I got an email, and this is no reflection upon you or Kirsten or Alex. I got an email from Alex getting information from Public Works. And here's what it says. At the time the new sewer main was put in place, the property did not have connection to the old system. Somebody's making a declaration. My question is, who is claiming this is a fact? Very important. Who's claiming that line was not connected? The second thing I've recognized here was the reconnect permit you got when you meeting with Public Works was to start the process to physically connect. That's not true. I have 6 examples in this packet here, gang, demonstrating the process. So they gave another false narrative to Alex. The second page here in this email, even if the current pipe was connected to the main, you would have been required to replace the old pipes due to the age and condition. Not true, gang. If it's proven to be in good condition, we can still use it, regardless. That condition of changing out a pipe didn't go into effect until October 1st of 2025. I put my permit in February 19th of 2025. Okay, so I just debunked this email left and right. Okay, so then we go here to the examples. This is an example. I've got 4 examples of the process, and the process states you pay their money. If it's already been connected, you can use it. And then number 5 and 6 on this is an example, you guys, of when you have to put a new one in. So I've got 6 examples here. All right. And then I'm going to leave you alone here now. And then also I have on the last, second to the last document is an actual bill sent to my home on this sewer line after I bought the property, after I did my due diligence. So,
okay.
Thank you all.
No, thank you.
Could we, okay, I'll leave you alone, folks, but can we get this? I've been working on this since August 5th, and it's kind of like, it's over. I mean, I've got the facts.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes, thank you. And I'm familiar with this. I've been tracking it. So we're gonna get together and put our heads together and figure out what's going on here. So thank you.
Appreciate your time, gang.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Anthony again. All right.
Yes, hi, Anthony Agello, Port Orchard, South Kitsap area. Well, I hear fellow residents speaking up here. There does seem to be questionable practices going on. That seems to be the theme of the night. The Kitsap Rifle Revolver Club totally looks like a political agenda. The people in Kitsap County really appreciate, and you can see the ratings, and the people really appreciate the Kitsap Rifle and Revolver Club for decades. They still do. This is a political agenda to try and change that. Everyone knows it. It's you as leaders. Again, why don't you please do your jobs and fix this? Leave them alone. This gentleman, I know that they're trying to run. They haven't done anything wrong, and it's gone to court over and over and over. It's ridiculous. It's a waste of taxpayer money. We don't even want it. It's like paying for your own torture. Enitai, same thing. The people don't want what was being proposed in Enitai. Do what the residents want. You're leaders. I mean, I mean, nothing of, I don't mean this to any disrespect to you personally, but I hear people give each other pats on the back. Oh, you guys are they're doing good and they're doing good. Not really, not to the residents. And this isn't just me. This is going into the grocery stores, talking to people at the bank. No, we don't appreciate what's being done. There's a lack of leadership. Mr. Root, you ran on a platform of law enforcement. I see it was cut 3%. The poor deputies. I've talked to the deputies. What's up with that? And it shows. This is turning into a criminal show. It's going to be like Seattle. We're not Seattle. It's Kitsap County. Anyway, thanks again for your time.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Carter.
Good evening again, guys. One of the things I want to bring up to Kitsap County and to the commissioners is that Thursday morning, there's going to be a hearing in Olympia on Senate Bill 5974. And it has to do, why they wonderfully call it modernizing the sheriff's department. It is an absolute power grab to basically make all of our local elected sheriffs and turn them into an arm of the Washington State Patrol. Because if they can set the conditions for the sheriff, then the governor can remove him regardless of who he voted for and his oath. They want to turn the sheriff into someone who's an automaton to agree with a state Supreme Court. And our state Supreme Court, in a decision 9-0, was overturned 9-0 by the federal Supreme Court. So our state Supreme Court really needs some work to bring them back in line. But everybody, including my commissioners, should be contacting the legislatures, including Senator Dingra, and tell him to withdraw or kill Senate Bill 5974. After that, with KRRC, the reality is, commissioners, you were given, unfortunately, this was dumped on you, but here is the reality. You are the client for your attorney, the prosecutor's office. You have the ability, you three have the ability to tell the prosecutor to drop it or settle. You've not done that. You've not seemed to want to do that. You don't want to do that. The reality is Kitsap Rifle and Revolver Club is coming up on its 100th year anniversary. We have been a stellar organization within the community, but it seems like the commissioners themselves don't seem to be interested in seeing this move forward at all. The county has rehired the prosecutor that sued the gun club on your behalf, which, by the way, he was also caught partying with the judge during trial. So folks, you have the ability to take control of it, and I'm asking you to do that and drop the attacks against the club. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carter.
I'd just like to ask County Administrator for a follow-up to that. Could we get information from DCD? The last we heard, they had sent information to the club. I'd like to see what the club sent back. So could we get an update on what has happened since before the holidays?
Absolutely. Last thing I had heard, I had also not heard about next steps after that DCD letter. So I'll check in with them and see what the latest is.
Yeah, it was
Thank
a, it was a September 20, I have it up. So it's from September 19th, 2025 from Cecilia Olson, and it's sharing the permitting requirements of tax parcel ID number 362501-4-002-1006. And it's a letter to respond to the club's request for a summary of permitting requirements applicable to the real property. So it states everything that the club needs to do.
I'll follow up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tori.
May I add, commissioners?
No, sir. Thank you. We'll follow up on it. We'll figure out what's going on here. And I'm gonna double check on this drop or settle. So we got it. We heard it. Let me follow up on that. So thank you.
Commissioners, we do have one person online raising their hand.
Okay.
Okay. And it's Beth and Doug, I believe Heyman, probably.
Good evening, Commissioner. This is Doug Heyman, North Kitsap. I just wanted to reinforce what Kathy Lustig said. I've looked at the LiDAR. The Washington Department of Natural Resources has LiDAR that's available where you can see the topography of that area, and it's wholly unsuited for any development. It's really steep terrain, as she said. There's quite a bit of landslides that have happened in that area. So it's geologically hazardous, and it's just not an area that should be developed and should be left alone as a natural space. The other point I wanted to bring up is there's a lot of talk recently and in the last few years about a memorandum of understanding that was entered into by some of the former commissioners regarding Port Gamble Heritage Park. And it would be great if we could get more transparency on that. It seems like there's elements of that where the public didn't really get to weigh in. I think there's some documents that I saw. It takes quite a bit to search for that online and find the details, but it seems like it was this agreement with Large Timber Corporation and them getting, getting some things that the rest of the public probably wouldn't get with just kind of a wink and a handshake. So I'd appreciate it if we can get more detail and transparency on that memorandum of understanding so that the Port Gamble Heritage Park and the planning that goes on for that includes all of the citizens of Kitsap County. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Doug.
And no one else is raising their hand.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, commissioners. Like to share anything?
Sure. The only thing I have is the Central Kitsap Community Council is meeting on Wednesday, but just to give a heads up, it's not our typical meeting. It's really more of a retreat for the council and some of our new council members to get to know each other and to review the work plan for the coming year. So just wanted to let everybody know that it is an advertised meeting, but it's not really, people can attend, but it's not our typical meeting. There will be no presentations.
I guess I'll just say the legislative session started today. All three of us are on the legislative steering committee for the Washington State Association of Counties, which is where county council members, executives, and county commissioners from around the state get together. I was down in Olympia last week, working with county commissioners from around the state on legislative agenda, and we're all going to be busy tracking working with the other elected leaders in this county, but also working from the perspective of county commissioners to provide feedback on legislation, as well as push items that are priorities for our county. So that we're all going to be busy with that for the next 60 days.
Yeah, it's going to be a whirlwind. That's for sure. Okay. Well, I don't have anything else. That's it. All right. Meeting adjourned.
Good first meeting. Yay.
Yeah.